ADONAI, the hammer and the sword. Shalom, builders of the kingdom. Tonight we are standing on the wall with a hammer in one hand and with a sword in another. We are not here to play games. We are here to restore. Before we swing the first tool, we establish our ground in the word of ADONAI. ADONAI, the hammer and the sword. The book of Jeremiah chapter 23 verse 29 declares, "Is not my word like as fire, said ADONAI, and like a hammer that breaketh the rock in pieces?" Ephesians chapter 6 verse 17 commands us to take the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of ADONAI. And Nehemiah chapter 4 verse 18 reveals the secret for the builders. Everyone has his sword girded up by his side, and so they built. In Nehemiah's day, the work faced a great pause. The people were tired, and the rubble was mighty high. That's when the enemy, Tobiah, stood up to mock them. He said in Nehemiah chapter 4 verse 3, even if a fox climbed up that wall, he would break it down. He would break down that wall of stones. He mocked them. He mocked the army of ADONAI. Listen to the spirit behind that. The enemy wants you to believe that your work is so fragile, so weak, that one little fox, one little mistake, one little criticism, one little comparison will bring down the wall, will bring the wall crashing down. He is a father of all lies, but we know the Father of truth, ADONAI, and his Ruach Kodesh, the hammer and the sword. We know the truth. The Bible tells us in Songs of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 15, to take us the foxes, the little foxes that spoil the vines. These little foxes are the whispers in your ear. They are the words that say, you aren't enough. You aren't qualified. You aren't a pastor. Your marriage won't last. Nobody is listening to you. These are the spirits of sabotage meant to mess up your vineyard. We don't just ignore them. We cast them out in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach. We rebuke all darkness and every lying tongue in the mighty name of Yeshua HaMashiach. You cannot let those foxes dwell in the corners of your mind, or they will steer you away and steal your fruit before it's even ripe. Listen up. In your hand, in your spirit, you have the hammer and the sword. Oh, Nehemiah didn't drop his hammer to go chase a fox. He stayed on the wall and he drew his sword. You cannot work in peace if you are not prepared for battle. You cannot work in peace if you are not prepared for battle. You must build your legacy with the hammer of obedience while your sword is drawn against the darkness. You must be clothed in the full armor of the Ruach Kodesh, the Holy Spirit, the belt of truth to silence the fox, and the shield of faith to stop the arrows of the mockers. We don't build in our own strength. We build under the covering of ADONAI. We have in our spirit the fire of persistence. We will not stop, even if we are mocked. Even if the enemy rises up against us, we will not leave our place. The word of Adonai tells us in the book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse 9, and let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we do not faint. If we faint not, we shall reap what we have sown, brothers and sisters. Victory is an action. Listen, victory is an action. Nehemiah's men didn't even take off their clothes. They stayed ready from dawn until the stars came out. So when we obey, even when the rubble looks too big, we receive the victory in Yeshua HaMashiach from Adonai. For we have the Ruach Kodesh, and He has equipped us with His hammer and His sword. We move from the nothingness into the fullness of His promise. We have the victory for all ages to come. And what was the end of this story? In 52 days, the wall was finished. Nehemiah chapter 6, verses 15 through 16 say that when the enemy saw it, they lost their self-confidence. They realized that the work was done with the help of our God, of Adonai, with the Ruach Kodesh, with His hammer and His spiritual sword. For the mockers had to watch as the feeble people finished the impossible. The fox had nowhere to climb because the wall was solid and the gates were set in place by Adonai. Oh, by Adonai. Oh, glory to Adonai. Oh, listen to this prophetic decree straight from the Lord's heart. The little foxes in your ear are being silenced tonight by the roar of the lion of the tribe of Judah. Your pause is over. Every ugly word spoken against your calling is rebuked by Adonai. The outcome for you is a finished wall, a victory wall. It is a restored identity. It is a house of God that cannot be shaken, for you are on the rock of Adonai. In the name of Yeshua, the Spirit, the Ruach Kodesh orders you to pick up your hammer, grab your sword, and arise and build. For Adonai has equipped you with His Ruach Kodesh, His hammer, and His sword.